Prime Minister and political leader, Honorable Mia Amor Motley, Party Chairman, Senator the Honorable Kay McConney, General Secretary, Senator Dr. the Honorable Jerome Walcott, members of the party executive, ambassadors, members of cabinet, members of parliament, members of the Senate, members of the diplomatic corps, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all, good evening. I'm not hearing you. Good evening. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. How is everyone doing this evening? Good. My name is Davidson Ishmael, and with me this evening as co-master of ceremony would be Jamila Burgess, and it is our pleasure to be here. Comrades, what a year it has been. Let me say that again. You seem to be a little bit cold this evening in this St. George wind. What a year it has been. Exactly 12 months ago, I stood before you as the co-master of ceremonies for the awards and recognition ceremony for our 81st annual conference. And I am sure that I can boldly declare that none of us would have had even the slightest clue about just how dramatically and fundamentally our party, country, and indeed the entire world would have been forever changed just 1 year later. By all indicators and standards of assessment, 2020 can be described as being a tumultuous year at best, but the deepest cut, the one that has been felt most intensely and indeed by all and sundry, has been the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. Indeed, comrades, coming into 2020, our government was hard at work delivering on our party's motto of making a better life for our people. Our mission-critical agenda was pretty much fully addressed. Roads were sewage-free. Garbage was being picked up from our homes on a timely basis. Transportation woes were drastically alleviated, and our economy was receiving upgrade after upgrade, with international agencies noting our tremendous improvement and movements in the right direction. At the beginning of this year, our leadership's attention was sharply fixed on the transformation agenda, and we were poised to take Barbados to levels it had never seen before in all sectors and across every square inch of our landscape. But then COVID came, and there's no question that it has been one of the most significant blows to the economies of every nation on earth in over 100 years.
But comrades, there has been no surrender, no retreat. COVID cannot hold us back. COVID cannot hold us back. This statement, the theme for the 82nd annual conference of our great party, serves as a strong rallying cry to us as members and citizens all, that we shall overcome. With God's help and guidance, our nation shall come through this valley of shadows unto a brighter and better day. So tonight, we highlight and celebrate those persons who have made a significant contribution to our party, with the knowledge that their resilience and commitment will inspire others looking to make a difference, especially in these challenging times. Comrades, we salute you. Yes, give them a round of applause. I now wish to invite Miss Saitomia Worrell to ask God's blessings on the opening of our conference, And I would like to ask that immediately following the prayer, we observe a moment of silence for our comrades and citizens who have passed from this life over the last year.
Good night. Let's stand and bow our heads. With every head bowed and every eye closed, Heavenly Father, we approach your throne on behalf of our 83rd annual conference. Father, we ask you in the name of your Son, Jesus, that you would touch each and every one of us tonight. Father, I ask you that you will bless us from the crown of our heads to the soles of our feet. Father, we recognize that we are insufficient and we are not worthy of your praise. But because you love us and care for us, you would bless us. Father, I ask you in the name of your Son, Jesus, as I bring the Prime Minister of Barbados before you, I ask you, Lord, that you would touch her. Father, I ask you that you would continue to bless her. Father, I ask you that you would keep her covered under your blood, that nothing should come against her. Father, I bring the chairman of this party before you. I ask you, God, that you would touch every leader. Father, I ask you that you would touch every minister. I ask you in the name of your Son, Jesus, God, that you would touch every awardee tonight. Father, I ask you in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, that you will bless this conference again. Father, I ask you in the name of your Son, Jesus, that you will shield us. Lord, I ask you that you will guide us. I ask you that you protect us as the days come and go. These mercies I ask in the name of your Son, Jesus, and I ask it with thanksgiving. Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Worrell. Please be seated. I now wish to invite to the stage our conference chairman, Comrade John King, who will give his welcome address. Please put your hands together for Comrade John King.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor Moore Motley, General Secretary Jerome Walker, Chairman Kim McConney, comrades all, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This evening is the evening when we get together as a Barbados Labour Party family to celebrate those who have given yeoman service to this beloved party of ours. Oftentimes, ladies and gentlemen, it is that we have the opportunity to sing the praises of those who have the opportunity to serve at various levels. But then this is when we use this time to really look at the persons who have been with us for many, many years, those persons who sometimes are the unsung heroes of the things that we as parliamentarians, as MPs and other things get to benefit from. As chairman of the conference this year, I want to personally thank all of the awardees for the service that you have given not only to the party, to your parish, but to our beloved country, Barbados. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we should give them all a round of applause. What can we say? 2020, when you think about it, talks about having a clear vision. This party, led by the Honorable Mia Moore Motley, has come to office in 2018 with a clear vision, not crafted in 2 days or 2 weeks, but crafted from being in opposition as to what is needed in order to restore Barbados to the levels that it's supposed to be at. For many years, this country would have been known as the leader of the Caribbean, where people would sing our praises across the islands and look to us for leadership. We lacked that for 10 years. Some call it the lost decade. I call it an unfortunate blimp on the history of our country. Our job, not only as a government, but as proud Barbadians, is to band together to make the vision of restoration, of getting us back to where we're supposed to be, a reality. It depends heavily on every single one of us. As the PM would always say, many hands make light work. This is not an easy task, and by no stretch of the imagination is it easy or light work, but it has to be done. There are generations of young people depending on us. There are those in this audience, members of the League of Young Socialists, the ones who will take up the fight and take on the baton in years to come. We have to be part and parcel of giving them the encouragement, giving them the confidence to be the leaders of tomorrow. On behalf of the committee responsible, and all of them, for the hard work that they've been doing over months of preparation for this annual conference, I want to welcome you. Tonight is a night of celebration. Don't be shy. Clap your hands, beat your chest, keep some noise. The people who come to this stage deserve it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the evening.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. It's indeed my pleasure to introduce to you tonight the guest speaker, our guest speaker for tonight, Miss Toni Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, Toni Moore, a young lady originating in the rural parish of St. John, came to my attention at a very early age first met her at National Housing Corporation after she had secured a master's in the field of human resource management, industrial relations in Canada. Having started a career in the human resource department at the National Housing Corporation, I was introduced to her by a young man who said, "Boss, I've met a lady who works in the human resource department who is indeed very, very bright." He says, "You must meet her. You must get to know her. She is very bright." I met Tony, and we had some conversations, and indeed I recognized that she was very bright. She had a mind of her own. She was able to discern many aspects of human resource management at a very early stage. And I can tell you, she had some clashes with her managers in a kind of professional way. She made it known exactly how she felt in dealing with issues. That is the Tony Moore I know. Tony Moore left National Housing Corporation after a short stint, went on to the union, Barbados Workers Union, where she worked her way up to the position of General Secretary. For the last 6 years, Tony Moore has done yeoman service at the Barbados Workers Union as its General Secretary. She came to my attention again when she was nominated by the Barbados Labour Party to run for the St. George North seat, which was vacated by Glenn Clark. As president of the branch, I had some discussions with young Moore, and we started to work. I can tell you, working with her has been a pleasure. She's explained to me her commitment to the labor of this country, to workers in this country, through her representation not only at the Barbados Workers Union, but through the ILO, where she serves. She has, in the last few weeks, demonstrated tremendous ability, tremendous charisma. She has taken to the parish of St. George, to the folk of St. George North, and the folk of St. George North has demonstrated their love and warmth towards Tony Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Moore, I give to you tonight your feature speaker, Tony Moore.
Thank you, Brother Nigel Whitehall, for that introduction. At one point, I was looking around to see who was this Tony Moore. He made Sir's song so appealing. But I'm glad to be here with you tonight. Tonight being an occasion which would be significant for us in many ways, not only for me, but for all of us as we embark on a journey, a very historic and important journey in the time of this country. So Honorable Prime Minister, General Secretary, and members of the Barbados Labour Party, specially invited guests, awardees, members of the St. George North branch, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, thank you. I say to you, thank you for your very kind invitation to address this 82nd Annual General Conference. Indeed, it was just over 4 weeks ago that I started my journey with this party and in St. George North. This new journey, as I have said before, was not contemplated, nor was it planned. So anyone who has said to any of you that they have seen me walking about in Middleton or any other part of St. George North before that date, 4 weeks ago, could only have been acknowledging that I was going to be the next MP representing the people of St. George North. Tonight, I want to pledge to you that whatever other roles I have, I will not be deterred or deflected from my responsibility and service to the people of St. George North. Nor will I be deterred from fighting for labor, for fighting for the poor and the underprivileged people of this country. That is the mission I committed to 16 years ago, and that is the mission that I uphold today and going forward. My joining the Barbados Labour Party and asking for the people of St. George North to permit me to serve them continues my passion and commitment, therefore, to beat back the oppression of poor people, to beat back the oppression of working people, whether that oppression, Madam Prime Minister, is by politicians, by members of the private sector, whether it is through legislation or changing social and economic conditions. That remains my mission. So I come to this conference tonight confident that I bring the weight and proud tradition of the Barbados Workers Union with me. I walk in the very large footsteps of the Right Excellent Sir Hugh Springer, the Right Excellent Sir Frank Walcott, and Sir Roy Trotman, all General Secretaries that served before me. I stand buoyed particularly by the support of my immediate predecessor, Sir Roy Trotman, who, although a former politician representing the people of Barbados under a DLP administration, he endorsed me as a candidate for the Barbados Labour Party. That says a lot. It meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me. And it should say a lot to each and every one of you that understand what trade unionism is about, that understand what representation of people is about, that understand what true service is. I hold before me the watchwords of equity and social justice for working class and for all people. I hold before me justice for those who need representation from a trade union to ensure that they have lives of dignity. Indeed, mine is the understanding that experience in one's working life determine how one perceives life in general. So I come to the conference refreshed by the unplanned, unchoreographed presentation that I got a glimpse of on Wednesday night, October 21st on CBC, where around 9 p.m., a group of young people were examining where Barbados labor had come from. And our leaders of tomorrow, a panel of 4 young people, were all speaking in terms without hesitation of their certain knowledge that the working class of tomorrow will only have success if we build on the symbiotic relations of party and union which started in the 1940s. That was a proud moment for me because oftentimes we feel as if our young people are disconnected. We feel as if they do not understand our past. And we often say that one cannot have an appreciation of where we are today or where we need to go except we have a strong appreciation of what brought us to this point. And so I address this Barbados Labour Party conference tonight in the context of surprises that life throws our way. the surprises that life will throw our way as individuals, as a nation, as a region, and as an international community. Surprises that we may be able to benefit from even when on those occasions we are challenged to wonder whether God is punishing us or if he's merely making us tougher for the journey that lies ahead. It's within this context that I ask, how do we as a people understand? How do we interpret? How do we respond to calamities? History has shown that those who succeed against adversity in the face of a surprise or in the face of an unexpected event or against some difficulty, challenge, or change are not those who throw their hands up in the air. History will show that those who succeed are not those who stand open mouthed and look around as if they don't have a clue of what is going on around them. It's not about those whose only contribution is to criticize those others of us who dare to make an effort to respond. Success is achieved by those who use their heads and those who are willing to join heart and hand together to create solutions that help to transform adversity into opportunity and unfavorable circumstances into the best outcomes that can assure our success. There's no doubt, therefore, that COVID-19 caught the world by surprise. No one truly anticipated the kind of multidimensional crisis that COVID-19 would occasion, challenging health, society, our economy, the way we relate to each other, our recreation, our means of connecting, our means of communicating with each other. But while COVID-19 has caused numerous shocks and upheavals, nowhere and in no single sector have the surprises been greater, deeper, and more apparent and enduring than in the labor market. Yet there are those who believe that they should be critical of others who are seeking to act and deal with the change and challenges. But these are critics who are forwarding no solutions to address the problems which our communities and our country are experiencing. Normal is no longer what it used to be. What we must do as a society, a trade union, a labor party, we have to identify what the new normal must look like in a COVID-19 and a post-COVID-19 world. Just as 9/11 redefined global travel, so too is COVID-19 redefining life and labor all over the world, and Barbados is no exception. I wish, therefore, to speak tonight for a short while on some of the challenges that COVID-19 is presenting for the labor movement in Barbados in particular and globally. In doing so, I would take the opportunity to emphasize that history has taught us that when faced with such significant changes, unity is required. Understanding this, and yes, Cynthia, you can be the only person clapping for me. Understanding this, the BWU in its motto reaffirms that unity is strength. Unity does not mean that we will not disagree. It does not mean that we will not vigorously engage on issues on which we have divergent views. It does not mean that when our interests differ and when agitation and demands have to be met, that we will not pursue these. Instead, it means that we must fight, but not fight for fighting's sake or merely to criticize or hear our own voices. It means that people of goodwill who want to see this country, Barbados, do better and to thrive in light of an unprecedented crisis, that we must look to the horizon and ask, what can we do constructively to ensure that our members and our citizens and our society sees a sustainable and safe future ahead? It is to you, the people of goodwill, and also tonight to the Senates, that I say COVID-19 may have bowled a googly, but in the Barbados Workers Union and the Barbados Labour Party, with us working together in partnership to steer this country through some very uncharted waters, COVID-19 will not hold us back. I say so cognizant of the fact that there was a time when government, the private sector, and labor were perceived as natural and automatic adversaries. However, we are at a juncture where more than ever our labor relations needs to be constructive and directed toward the objectives of the decent work agenda. The time is right for strong voices united in the cause of labor to demand a new social contract that guarantees improved health and safety conditions, more and better jobs, improved working conditions generally, enhanced social protection, and very importantly, high levels of trust, social trust. We are at a juncture where while recovering from COVID is an objective, building back better with the Sustainable Development Goals in focus has also to be an imperative. We must therefore be working toward an end to poverty, the advancement of our young people, the empowerment of women, reducing inequalities, developing green and blue economies, and the achievement of decent work for all. The current situation therefore demands a different type of response. It demands collaborative relationships, the building of capacity and resilience in the country, and the equipping of people for jobs of the future, which will come from varying directions, trends, and areas of focus. The union does not want to see workers laid off. That's no joy of us when we have to see workers put on the breadline. We want to see a labor force that is skilled, that is retrained, retooled, empowered, and ready to take on jobs of the future. So I will reflect a bit on trends in the labor market. People used to speak of the future of work, even here in Barbados, as if it was some distant element awaiting us. But COVID-19 has brought the future of work to now. So let us look at some of these trends which have been accelerated by the presence of the coronavirus. I start by looking at agriculture, an issue which is critical to St. George, generally, not only St. George North, as part of this country's agricultural belt. The issue of the transformation of the agricultural sector and the effort to ensure food security is one that many of you who have been following me would have heard me speak about. I have been heartened by the measures introduced in the throne speech to ensure that we expand the agricultural base and to become a food secure country, and to do so by transitioning from the mere fork and hoe to using technologies that would create future job opportunities and more profitable forms of farming in this country. I say this careful to remind us all that the union must have a role in this regard. The direction in which the labor movement has moved over the years requires us to do even more to address the working conditions for agricultural workers. You would have heard Sir Roy speak some weeks ago, many of you, and he mentioned the fact that agricultural workers today in 2020 still don't have some of the basic conditions in the fields where they work, conditions that would allow them the privacy of bathroom facilities. We have to do more to ensure safe working conditions, not only for agricultural workers, but for all people. If the union is sitting at the policy table, it is my belief that we are in a better position to shape and direct the nature of the improvement for labor, which will characterize the new agricultural sector rather than having to fight from the back end all the time. That is why I am here. I believe that labor has a role to play in ensuring that the working class has a voice at the highest level of policy and to influence the enactment of relevant pieces of legislation. So as I pursue opportunities that could see the good people of St. George North become investors and even entrepreneurs in a revamped agricultural sector, I will be seeking also to ensure that the agricultural sector is transformed with decent working, health, and safe conditions. So I now look at workplace safety. Working from the Labour Party's table and bringing the weight and influence of the Barbados Workers' Union and the entire labor movement, it is my intention to have new protocols formally developed and guidelines standardized for workplace cleaning and safety. In terms of the future of work, it is now believed by all of us, or at the very least most of us, that COVID-19 will be among us for some time to come. So intensive cleaning of our workplaces to make sure that they're safe for workers and for the use of the public is an important mechanism that we must embrace. More space will be required as offices will need to promote physical distancing requirements such as what we have here tonight. There will have to be improved filtering and ventilation in all workplaces. Increased sanitization of surfaces, floors, and the general work area will have to be undertaken. Architects and engineers and builders will have to contemplate more closely the types of building design, materials, and ventilation that are used in buildings. How many sick buildings do we hear complaints being made of it across Barbados? The union needs to be a part of the discussion that will determine health and safety conditions of the present and the future. I will be at the table where the policy and rules are being formulated to ensure that these interests are met. This management of workplace safety must also be observed as an opportunity to bring more jobs to the community and to this country. I turn my attention to women and youth. In 2019, a study by the World Economic Forum indicated that despite what we consider to be tremendous gains by women all over the world, including in Barbados, women still work for less money than men. Women are more likely to be poor than men. And women are more likely to be unemployed or underemployed than men. It is therefore critical that we contemplate the employment and job creation strategies as we seek to reduce the levels of employment going into the future. And given the fact that women in particular are the burden bearers of employment, especially in a COVID environment, we must have labor. We must see the importance of having labor at the table to ensure that the gender dimension receives more than just a token consideration. And I'm not saying that the other women in Parliament right now can't speak for women. But the role of the trade union movement, or one of the key roles of the trade union movement, is to bring and express all the different dimensions that impact labor, gender included. You don't have to satisfy yourself that you can influence policy by waiting when the stable doors are closed and the horse is already bolted out of the paddock to start to keep noise. It is important. What I'm showing you, that for all of these trends that we are experiencing, it is important to have labor at the table. I know that women all over this country are propping up their families. I knew it before, and trust me, in the past 3 weeks, I've been seeing the impact of this live and direct. As I see women struggling to hold their families together. As I see single mothers who once were employed, now unemployed, asking for vouchers and any means of help to assist themselves and their family. I see also too many young people that are feeling as if their life chances are deteriorating before their eyes as their parents are struggling to make ends meet. I see the disruption that in education that has been occasioned to by COVID. And I see all the extra barriers that families are dealing with that impact their capacity to secure a place not only in the job market, but in the socio-economic space for their families. Under the last administration, when other economies in the Caribbean were growing, Barbados kept slipping down, downgrade after downgrade. Young people suffered in that economy. Not only was their access to free tertiary education cut, but there were no jobs for them. And then when you have that situation, and then when we enter into a period of rebuilding, and before we can look around twice, an external shock that has nothing to do with the management of this country causes that situation or similar results to be seen and observed by our young people. One does not have to think too hard to consider the despair that there is. A worrying dimension of the contemporary forms of work has also been an issue that you would have heard me speak on previous occasions, not in this campaign, but in my capacity as General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union. Increases in atypical contracts such as zero-hour contracts that see only skilled work being undermined by conditions where workers' labor is taken for granted. Reduced benefits and conditions, lack of access to social security, and that has to be a major bugbearer for all of us now. Because what the trade union movement has been saying about the importance of having people paying into a social security system is something that almost every working person now is seeing the importance of. What COVID-19 has actually done, it has laid bare the gaps in our social security system. Had it not been for those of us who were actually paying into the system, imagine how many more people would have been out of pocket. Imagine how many more people would not have been able to keep their heads above water during this COVID-19 period. We must build back better with decent jobs. Decent jobs mean that we're not going to settle just for anything, whether it's informal, where it does not pay into social security, where if you have a problem, you have no fallback position. Decent work must see workers subscribing to social protection, social security, and drawing from the benefits of that kind of system. In those types of labor relations, it is even more difficult to battle with companies that refuse to grant workers the right to have the trade union of their choice represent them, or to have rights delayed or denied because an employer refuses to accept the union as a bargaining agent. Current laws do not contemplate the insecurities that have been caused, but these laws will have to be rethought to encompass these new labor market trends and arrangements that I speak about. It should therefore come as no surprise to you that it is my intention to use my position as a parliamentarian, as I've done in the upper house, to access the kind of information that is not easily and readily available to trade unions, but that is more easily and readily available to governments, parties and governments, and members in the lower house. I plan to analyze these trends in Barbados to ensure that all workers, particularly vulnerable workers, are protected. The trade union accepts that companies also need to thrive in this environment, and that companies also need flexibility, especially given the many changes that have been occasioned by COVID-19. But it must not come at the expense of labor. Workers need protection of unions, and workers will continue to benefit from the protection of unions. I am proud, therefore, that with the will of the people of St. George North, I will be able to bring to the Barbados Labour Party table that perspective and that strong voice on their behalf. Technology has been transforming our lives. People spoke of technology, robotics, artificial intelligence as areas for future intervention for the labor movement. COVID-19 has brought the technological revolution more rapidly to our doorsteps. How many of you in here a year ago knew about Zoom? If I had to ask for a show of hands, some of you that didn't know would raise your hands because it's shame. But it's nothing to be ashamed about, because that is what COVID-19 has occasioned. Now I have the experience that even my parents are into Zoom. They're using Zoom to attend church, Zoom to assist their grandchild with homework, Zoom to attend birthday parties, Zoom for family gatherings. The role of the labor movement, likewise, has had to shift. The role of the labor movement is to ensure with more direct impact that there is reskilling, upskilling, and continuous training of our labor force in this evolving market to meet the challenges and demands of the time. St. George North and the family of the Barbados Labour Party, I'm speaking to you in these terms because on the campaign trail when political speeches are being made, that's one thing. But you, the members of the Barbados Labour Party, must understand the philosophical underpinnings of why this and why now. So when you hear all the rest of them highlighting on their platforms all the things that I am and I am not, and when you hear me not responding to them and their comments, you must understand that this is not about games, it is not about show, it's not about emotion. It is about using a platform to bring substance, to share with the people on whose behalf I want to represent. And I'm offering representation on how I plan to represent them and the challenges with which they're confronted. My approach, as always, and like those in the labor movement who have gone before me, will be to compromise when it is pragmatic to do so, to cooperate when it is strategic to do so, and to combat when it is necessary to do so. In all of this, I want you to be in no doubt that I have a double responsibility on which I will act at all times. Responsibility to the Barbados Workers Union and its members and working people who struggle, whose blood, sweat, and tears have built this country over the course of its independence. My responsibility is also to the people of St. George North. And Barbados, I'm saying to you with every confidence tonight that I'm ready. It is a historical fact that the Barbados Workers Union came from this very Barbados Labour Party when it was the Barbados Progressive League. The Barbados Progressive League and the Barbados Workers Union fought against poverty and deprivation, fought against low wages, poor housing, poor living conditions, lack of education. These were out of the reach of ordinary people. It was this Barbados Labour Party, indeed, that was responsible for ensuring the right to organizing and collective bargain for the trade union movement. Barbados Workers Union's mobilization in the first decade of its history was not only about increasing membership. It was to fortify the foundations of the Barbados Progressive League as its economic arm. And I want you to understand that this campaign is not a campaign that is changing anything. It is just a campaign that is fortifying and building on where we started. We sought jointly to ensure recognition of the union as the bargaining unit, as the bargaining agent of the workers. And this is still part of the work of the Barbados Workers Union even now. And although it will change in character as the landscape changes, the labor movement's objective will remain a battle for better outcomes for people who work to eat for their daily bread. The challenge of labor in the next decade is to represent workers and to ensure that they are skilled to work, and they're skilled to work and earn and enjoy protections in a more fluid and secure labor market. And in that climate, to ensure decent work for all who labor in every sphere and in all the new jobs that are coming into the marketplace, as the jobs which we are familiar with will be lost and the labor landscape will likely evolve in a very unprecedented way. COVID-19 has brought us full circle, my friends. All battles we thought had been settled are being fought again. Greed and selfishness continue to undermine our development. For example, during COVID-19, the bypassing of the process of consultation and using unorthodox methods to cut wages and reduce jobs in the name of COVID-19. Democracy around the bargaining table is under threat, and labor is being treated like a commodity, not only here in Barbados, but globally. Increasingly, there's non-adherence to voluntaristic principles of industrial relations with forms of work that are associated with lower wages, reduced social protection, income insecurity, and poor working conditions. As such, our people are losing trust in democracy at a time when we most need strong, inclusive leadership from people elected to represent us in our parliaments. It is for this reason that I remain dumbfounded by the attacks that have been made on my decision to represent the people in an elected capacity. However, I will not judge my cynics, but you must. The above gives rise to widening inequality gaps. Fear and intimidation are being used by employers to threaten employees and force them to take what they get or lose what they have. Too many workers are feeling like it is better to settle for a half loaf of bread rather than the whole loaf that they deserve. This creates high levels of inequality and insecurity, as fear of job loss and consequences of job loss weaken the workers' will to fight for their rights. Ultimately, this will destabilize the system of social protection that is under an increased demand to provide income support, skills training, secure pensions, and a suite of benefits that make for an accessible quality of life and livelihoods. Labor and the trade union movement are at a pivotal point. COVID has brought us here. The labor movement and this country have to survive. I am persuaded that this Barbados Labour Party, by providing social safety floors for those whom the pandemic have laid low, by exploring and developing new policy options in agriculture, technology, the green economy, the blue economy, and taking new directions in tourism, including a virtual tourism product, has the kind of vision that will make a real difference in the lives of working people. The attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals cannot happen in isolation. It has to happen with all the stakeholders working together to defeat the challenges of our generation, whether posed by climate change or the gig economy. It will happen when we break the extractive approaches to workers, when we use the human-centered and collaborative approaches to industrial relations. It will happen when we pursue justice and equity for all workers. It will happen when we realize that we cannot sit back. We cannot go back to normal. We have to adapt to the present, mitigate the difficulties, and anticipate and prepare for a future that has been brought to our doorsteps. Justice and equity is what drives Barbados. It is what has driven the Barbados Workers Union in the past and now. Justice and equity were what drove the BLP to fight for the working class people in this country and for establishing trade unions 82 years ago is what must continue to drive this party. This is what these times require. This is what the current circumstances demand. This is what workers need. This is a must for our people. The union will cooperate, but as I said, we will combat, because with us, our priority is the worker. And my seat in the Barbados Labour Party and Parliament will better the position for us both. I will strive for sustainability, and I will endeavor to encourage all of us to resist short-termism. I will fight against marginalization and diminution of the workers, the union, and their representatives. People are not concerned with rhetoric. They are concerned with results. People are not concerned with politicians. People are not concerned with promises. They are not concerned with empty criticism. People are concerned about their lives, their families, and their future. Tonight, I speak to you, this gathering at the 82nd Conference of the Barbados Labour Party. I speak to you in love. I speak to you with a passion for labor and a passion for what I do. I speak to you tonight of the crisis in labor. I speak to you about the pain in labor. I speak to you tonight of the need for decent work and for dignity of the worker and his or her family. I speak to you about the power of a union that is going to be sitting at the table with government to shape the future of this country and those who have worked to build Barbados. And in all of those respects, I speak for you, the constituents of St. George North. The gravity of the times compel me to speak and to cooperate, to combat with the highest offices for the people of this country, for the workers of this country and their families, and for the people of St. George North. And as I do this, all of the other constituencies will be the beneficiaries. Indeed, Barbados will be the beneficiary. I want to thank you again for the opportunity that has been given to me. I want to thank you for the opportunity that has been afforded for me to work with you and for all of us joining heart and hand together to build Barbados back even stronger than it was before COVID-19. COVID-19 cannot hold us back. Good night and God bless to everyone.
Comrade Moore, just stay on the stage. Comrade Moore, Tony, just stay on the stage. We have a token. At this time, we will ask our comrade, Gail Powers-Yard, who is our awards chairman for the annual conference, to come and to present a token of appreciation to our featured speaker, Comrade Tony Moore. Please welcome Gail Powers-Yard to the stage. Thank you so much, ladies. How's everybody doing? Fantastic. You guys look lovely. We just want to remind you to continue to observe the COVID-19 protocols, continue to wear your mask, and continue to observe your physical distancing wherever possible. Thank you so much.
We now turn our attention to the award segment of the evening's proceedings, and we begin with the Southern branches. I now wish to invite to the stage Comrade William Duguid to make those presentations. Comrade Duguid, please come to the stage.
Christchurch East Branch, Lana Trotman. With strong family ties to the Barbados Labour Party and having admired what our great party stands for, Comrade Lana joined the executive of the Christchurch East Branch in 2015 as she wanted to find a way of giving back to her beloved community. Since then, she has served on the executive committee in the capacity of branch secretary, floor member, vice president, and now in a current role as branch president. Please put your hands together for Lana Trotman. Christchurch East Central, David Morgan. Comrade David was born into a Labour Party family and for more than 30 years has embraced the ideals and concerns of the BLP. He has been a keen and passionate member of Christchurch East Central, where he has served as treasurer, committee member, canvasser, and donor. Comrade David is proud of the fact that his support for and faith in his party has never wavered. Please put your hands together for David Morgan. Christchurch South, Alexandria Welch-Kelman. Comrade Alexandria has been a hardworking member of Christchurch South since the era of the 80s, when she provided electricity for Saharo St. John during one of his campaign meetings. Today, she continues to enjoy a record of excellent service on the branch executive. Please put your hands together for Alexandria Welch-Kelman. Christchurch West, Concelia Ashby. More affectionately known as Inez or Nez, Comrade Concelia has been a staunch supporter of the Barbados Labour Party for all her voting life. She always told her children, make sure the X doesn't touch the box. Please put your hands together for Concelia Ashby. Christchurch West, Natasha Trotman. Comrade Natasha grew up listening to her dad and family speak about the Barbados Labour Party. She was persuaded by then Prime Minister Right Honorable Owen Arthur that the BLP was the party of choice. From that point on, no one could say anything negative about the BLP without a challenge. Comrade Natasha is personal assistant to Minister Adrian Medic Ford. Please put your hands together for Natasha Trotman. St. Philip North, Cecile Clark. A dedicated and hard-working comrade, Cecile has served St. Philip North as poll captain, canvasser, secretary, and controller of the voters list. But most of all, she has been the polling clerk for PD4 polling station in every election since 1994. She has spanned the candidates of Cappy Greenwich, George Griffith, Indar Weir, and Dr. Sonia Brown. Please put your hands together for Cecile Clark. St. Philip South, Mervyn Noel Callender. Comrade Mervyn has been a member of the Barbados Labour Party since 1976. A very active member of St. Philip South, one is sure to see him at every branch meeting, AGM, annual conference, and certainly involved in every general election. He is equally busy working behind the scenes on a variety of branch projects. Please put your hands together for Mervyn Noel Callender. St. Philip West, Margaret Lord, Stalwarts Award 2020. Comrade Margaret joined the ranks of the Barbados Labour Party at the age of 17, having measured the other option of the day and found them woefully lacking the principles of honesty, loyalty, and respect, characteristics which she holds dear. Currently Vice President of St. Philip West, Comrade Margaret continues to walk with the same principles of honesty, loyalty, and respect, which she believes will allow others to see the difference between George Street and 111 Roebuck Street. Please put your hands together for Margaret Lord. St. George North, Sharon Branford. Comrade Sharon has been a true ambassador of St. George North, representing the branch at funerals, community events, and various functions. A member of the Barbados Labour Party since 1998, she's a firm believer in equality, empathy, and integrity. Please put your hands together for Sharon Bradford. St. George. St. George North, Sharon Branford. Comrade Sharon has been a true ambassador of St. George North, representing the branch at funerals, community events, and various functions. A member of the Barbados Labor Party since 1998, she's a firm believer in equality, empathy, and integrity. St. George South, Trevor O. Knight, BA, UWI Teacher's Diploma, BIMAP Human Resources Certificate, Certificate Information Technology. Trevor Knight has been a comrade since the days of Sir David Simmons in St. Philip North. Through the years, he has moved from St. Philip North to St. George South, where he has remained committed to the advancement of our great party while serving his branch with distinction as President, Secretary, Treasurer, PRO, and Floor Rep. Please put your hands together for Trevor O. Knight. St. John, Mr. Wall Bruce. Comrade Bruce boasts that he got married twice, in 1971, first to his beloved wife Sheila, and when he became a member of the Barbados Labor Party, a dedicated and loyal member of St. John Branch. He says no one on this planet can change his support for the BLP because whenever the party forms the government, there is progress. Please put your hands together for Wall Bruce.
Thank you very much, Minister Duguid. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together one more time for the awardees of our southern branches in our 2020 annual conference. At this time, we're going to have some entertainment. We have a young up-and-coming saxophonist by the name of Zukili, and he is going to be rendering for us R. Kelly's The World's Greatest. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Zukili. Ladies and gentlemen, you could do better than that. Put your hands together for Zukili. And indeed, the way that we've been handling the COVID-19 situation, I believe that is a very apt and suitable song, The World's Greatest. Put your hands together one more time. We need urgent assistance, please. Will the drivers of E4970, E4970, and M6377, please urgently attend to your vehicles. You are preventing someone from getting into their home. Thank you very much for your assistance.
Good night, comrades. At 2 workshops held during the year, 2 very important groups attended the workshop. It was actually done for their benefit. And coming out of that workshop, there was a sense of recognition that was so much needed. And so we felt that tonight we would recognize these BLP warriors, faces, voices, ambassadors, the ones who interface, just like the members of parliament, but who interface with the constituents, with agencies, and certainly with the opposing members. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, BLP family, it is virtually impossible to recognize and award them individually. But I wish you now to join with me as we recognize this group. And I invite them to stand wherever you are, and I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to applaud them, showing your sense of support, your recognition, and your thanks. And to all personal assistants and constituency assistants who are present here tonight, kindly stand. Wherever you are, I invite you to stand. BLP family, these are important jewels in our party, in our government, and we thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Antoine. At this time, we would like to invite our Comrade Marsha Cattle onto the stage to assist us with the award presentation for the central branches of the Barbados Labour Party.
St. Michael Central, Trinisha Farrell. Comrade Trinisha has been a member of the executive of St. Michael Central since 2015, and she is currently constituency assistant to Comrade Arthur Holder, MP for St. Michael Central and Speaker of the House of Assembly. Trinisha has also been putting in some hard work as a canvasser in the constituency since 2009. Please put your hands together for Trinisha Farrell. St. Michael East, Leon Sargent. Comrade Leon has been a dedicated member of the Barbados Labour Party for more than 20 years, the last 15 of which have been spent serving the St. Michael East branch with distinction. He is also being recognized for his hard work as a box captain in St. Michael East. Please put your hands together for Leon Sargent. St. Michael North, Keisha Brown. Comrade Keisha, constituency assistant to St. Michael North MP Comrade Ronald Toppin, is a worthy ambassador of the Barbados Labour Party. She is recognized for her meticulous attention to detail, her ability to organize effectively, and to exercise timely responses where required. Says Keisha, it's a joy to serve. Please put your hands together for Keisha Brown. St. Michael Northeast, Norencia Emmanuel. Comrade Marcia has been a member of the St. Michael Northeast branch for approximately 23 years. For more than a decade, she has been an extremely active and supportive member, a true tower of strength within the branch, a justice of the peace, and the present PD captain in KI1. Comrade Marcia is also actively involved in several community projects. Please put your hands together for Norencia Emmanuel. St. Michael Northwest, Marita Odell. Comrade Marita has been a resident of St. Michael Northwest for the past 31 years. She became a member of the BLP Northwest branch in 2016, in time to work hard as box captain for HC1 to ensure that Comrade Neil Rowe, the man for the people, was elected in 2018. Comrade Marita has been PRO of her branch for the past 2 years. Please put your hands together for Marita Odell. St. Michael South, Shirley Green. Comrade Shirley is not someone who seeks the spotlight, but prefers to work behind the scenes. Shirley is a staunch supporter of the BLP and her beloved MP Kirk Humphrey. Over the years, she has worked tirelessly for her party. A chef by profession, Shirley ensured that Team Kirk and anyone who stopped by the campaign house was fed and watered. Please put your hands together for Shirley Green.
As you can tell, this is not Shirley. Comrade Ricardo McConney is collecting on behalf of Shirley this evening. Put your hands together for Comrade Ricardo McConney. Stunt double for Shirley.
St. Michael's South Central, Special Award, Simone Ennis. Comrade Simone has been a member of the BLP for the past 7 years. She has served as constituency assistant St. Michael's South Central for the past 2 years, a position that has afforded her the opportunity to assist her representative in managing the day-to-day requests of constituents. She currently functions as Assistant Secretary Treasurer of the branch as well, and is also the National Council representative as well as Secretary of the Women's League. Please put your hands together for Simone Ennis. St. Michael Southeast, Kimberly Richards. Comrade Kimberly has served St. Michael Southeast for several years with distinction as a member of the executive as well as box captain. She's determined to make her branch the best it can be. Please put your hands together for Kimberly Richards. St. Michael West, Laverne Almenthea Shallow. A genuine stalwart for more than 25 years, Comrade Laverne spearheaded a feeding program for scores of youth as part of her decades of community service in St. Michael West. Comrade Laverne is always heard to say, "They can come to me anytime for something to eat." A true champion of St. Michael West. Please put your hands together for Laverne Shallow. St. Michael West Central, Karen Williams. Comrade Karen is a loyal member of the Barbados Labour Party and St. Michael West Central. She has been a member of the party since the Mark Williams era in St. Michael Northwest and has served many MPs for that constituency before relocating and joining St. Michael West Central, where she is recognized for her loyalty, commitment, and hard work. Please put your hands together for Karen Williams. City of Bridgetown, Lucy Joseph. Comrade Lucy is a hard worker who never backs down from a challenge. A party member since 2001, she has served City of Bridgetown as Vice President, President, and Treasurer, and is currently NEC Rep. Please put your hands together for Lucy Joseph.
Thank you, Comrade Cattle, for making those presentations. Thank you. Up next, we have a young soloist who will be giving us a selection, Try It On My Own. Comrades, put your hands together for Miss Diana Price.
Good night, everyone. I'm wiser now. I'm not the foolish girl you used to know so long ago. I'm stronger now. I've learned from my mistakes which way to go, and I should know. I put myself aside to do it your way. But now it's time for me to take control. And I am not afraid to try it on my own. And I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'll live my life the way I feel. No matter what, I'm gonna keep it real, you know. It's over now. I can't go back from living through your eyes. Too many lies. And if you don't know by now, I can't go back to being someone else. control. And I am not afraid to try it on my own. And I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'll live my life the way I feel. No matter what, I'm gonna keep it real, you know. Time for me to do it. I start again, go back to one. I'm running things my way. Can't stop me now, I've just begun. Don't even think about it. I'm taking names, the ones of mine. Yes, I'm gonna take my time. It's time for me to finally stand alone. Stand alone. And not afraid to try it on my own. And I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'll live my life the way I feel. No matter what, I'm gonna keep it real, you know. Time for me to do it. See, I'm not afraid. On my own. And I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I'll live my life the way I feel. No matter what, I'm gonna keep it real, you know. Time for me to do it on my own. Thank you.
Comrades, we can do better than that. Put your hands together for Miss Diana Price. Thank you so much for that dynamic rendition. We turn now to the northern branches and invite Comrade Sandra Husbands to the stage to assist us with those presentations. Comrade Sandra Husbands, please give her some love.
St. Lucie, Comrade Cordell, from age 19, canvassed with Roy Brathwaite in St. Lucie and has continued to provide excellent service to the Honorable Peter Phillips, current MP. She's committed to ensuring that St. Lucie remains in the capable hands of the BLP. Please put your hands together for Cordella Graves. St. Philip, Anthea Smith DePisa, a tireless warrior for the Barbados Labour Party in the Black Bass and Mangrove area. Comrade Anthea boasts of being a bee for life. She has always worked beyond the call of duty to ensure the party's candidate wins big in the Black Bass box. Please put your hands together for Anthea Smith DePisa. St. Andrew, Egbert Arthur Brooms. Comrade Egbert migrated to Britain at age 21 and worked with British Rail for some 37 years. Since returning home, Comrade Egbert has given his full support to the Barbados Labour Party, becoming a member of the St. Andrew branch. A comrade who loves to cook, he has tantalized many palates since his return, cooking up a storm at branch events. Please put your hands together for Egbert Arthur Brooms.
Comrade Tricia Henry will be collecting the award for Comrade Egbert Brooms, who is unable to be with us this evening. Put your hands together for Comrade Egbert Brooms.
St. Joseph Hadcliffe Roll Holder. Comrade Hadcliffe was involved in the political life of the constituency of St. Joseph from an early age and subsequently became a member of the Barbados Labour Party in support of the election of parliamentary representative Comrade Dale Marshall. He has maintained a very close relationship with constituents, promoting and defending the party where necessary, a true champion of the constituents of St. Joseph. Please put your hands together for Hadcliffe Roll Holder. St. James Central, Kevin Blackett. Comrade Kevin has been a member of the Barbados Labour Party since 1979 and the St. James Central branch since 2003. It was during the 2008 general elections that he demonstrated his ability and commitment to work under pressure on the behalf of the Member of Parliament, Honourable Kerry Simmons. He continues to work assiduously, whether it be organizing sporting events or participating in other activities. Please put your hands together for Kevin Blackett. St. James North, Cindy Hippolyte. Comrade Cindy has worked with the St. James branch even before she was on the executive. No job is too big. She does what is asked and also volunteers. She has served as branch secretary and is currently treasurer, a position she has held for the last year. Please put your hands together for Cindy Hippolyte.
Tonight, Comrade Diana Ford will collect the award on behalf of Comrade Cindy Hippolyte. Put your hands together for Comrade Cindy Hippolyte, St. James North.
St. James South, Marcia Holder. Comrade Marcia has been a member of the Barbados Labour Party for more than 30 years. She has canvassed for Ronald Toppin and George Payne and has done great things for Sandra Husbands in the trenches in 2018. Please put your hands together for Marcia Holder. St. Thomas, Duncan Cumberbatch. Comrade Duncan has been associated with the BLP since 1994. A loyal and dedicated supporter, he assisted as a platform speaker in St. Thomas from 1999 until the last general election. Please put your hands together for Duncan Cumberbatch. Women's League, Costella Husbands. Costella joined the Barbados Labour Party in March of 1999. She became an active member of the Women's League in 2005, serving in positions ranging from floor member to assistant secretary treasurer. She was very involved with the promotion of the league and has been most instrumental in the success of the league's fundraising activities. Please put your hands together for Costella Husbands. League of Young Socialists, Darian Yearwood. Having been invited to Conference 2017 to drop off a document, Comrade Darian stuck around that Saturday evening and has not left the Labor Party since. His work on the executive as Projects and Outreach Chair and incoming General Secretary, in addition to his efforts on the Pantry Project through lockdown, and his sterling work with St. Michael Northeast, make him a standout as an example for others to follow. Please put your hands together for Darian Yearwood. New York, Donald Clark. Comrade Donald joined the Barbados Labor Party at his 1971 annual conference, the year of rebuilding. Prior to migrating to the United States in 1980, he served the League of Young Socialists, was president of the St. Michael South Central, and also served on National Executive Council. In the United States, he was instrumental in the formation and community outreach work of the New York BLP. Please put your hands together for Donald Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again for our Northern Branch awardees. And at this time, we want to thank our comrade Sandra Husbands for doing the presentation of those awards. Thank you very much, Comrade Sandra. At this time, we want to introduce yet another one of our young, up-and-coming entertainers. This young man goes by the name Tavon Boyce, and he will come at this time and render Flying Without Wings. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Tavon Boyce.
Good night, everyone. Everybody's looking for that something, one thing that makes it all complete. You'll find it in the strangest places, places you never knew it could be. Some find it in the faces of their children. Some find it in their lovers' eyes. Who can deny the joy it brings when you found that special thing? You're flying without wings. Some find it sharing every morning. Some in their solitary lives. You find it in the works of others. A simple line can make you laugh or cry. You find it in the deepest friendships, the kind you cherish all your life. And when you know how much that means, when you found that special thing, you're flying without wings. sunrise on your face. To know that I can say I love you at any given time or place. Oh, it's the little things that only I know. Those are the things that make you mine. And it's like flying without wings, 'cause you're my special thing. I'm flying without wings. And you're the place my life begins, and you'll be there when it ends. I'm flying without wings, and that's the joy it brings. Oh, I'm flying without wings. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Let me just. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together again for Tavon Boyce. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to move on to our special awards. And we're going to first start with our Youth Award. And we're going to ask our comrade Dwight Sutherland to join us on the platform to make the presentation to the next two awardees. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our comrade Dwight Sutherland.
Youth Award, Shane Archer, the son of retiring MP Glenn Clark. Comrade Shane came to the LYS with political pedigree, eager, full of knowledge but willing to learn, never pompous, and a natural love of politics and the work of representation he committed to the various tasks of the year that have seen this vice president grow in stature. Please put your hands together for Shane Archer.
We will ask Comrade Shane Archer to stay on the platform as he will receive on the behalf of our next awardee, our Sports Award.
Sports Award, Shaquana Quinton. Shaquana lives by a philosophy of being a warrior, not a worrier. Because as she puts it, each and every one of us has an appointed time in our life when we will achieve what we set out to do. A former student of Wesley Hall Jr. and the Garrison Secondary, she was selected at the tender age of 10 to represent Barbados at the Regional Women's Cricket Tournament. And 6 years later, her dream came true when she received the opportunity to represent the West Indies women's cricket team. Her perseverance and determination led her to become the Barbados U19 women's cricket captain. Her success as under-19 captain led the board of the Barbados Cricket Association, BCA, to entrust her with the captaincy of the senior women's team, who won the regional tournament 1 year later. In 2016, all of Shaquana's hard work paid off when she was part of the victorious Windies ICC team at the World T20 tournament. Please put your hands together for Shaquana Quinton.
Thank you very much, comrades Dwight Sutherland, for presenting those two awards this evening. At this time, we would like to ask our comrade Jerome Walker to join us on the platform as he will be making the next two special awards, our Appreciation Award and the Chessel Rock Award. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our General Secretary, Comrade Jerome Walcott.
Appreciation Award, Natasha Glasgow. Comrade Natasha has worked full-time at the party headquarters since 2018 and has been proven an invaluable member of our administrative team. She is dependable and trustworthy and demonstrates strong leadership ability while exercising good judgment and initiative. It's with immense pleasure that the political leader, chairman, general secretary, and treasurer identified Comrade Natasha as the recipient of the Conference 2020 Appreciation Award. Please put your hands together for Natasha Glasgow. The Chessel Rock Award. Marcy Blenman, St. Michael Northeast. Comrade Marcy is a staunch member of the BLP, whose direct involvement started during the era of former Prime Minister Owen Arthur. She grew up in a strong BLP family, hearing stories about the Right Excellent Sir Grantley Adams from her parents and grandparents. An active member of the Women's League, she's also a member of the party choir. No task is too big or too small for Marcy to perform for her constituency or party. Please put your hands together for Marcy Blenman.
Thank you very much, Comrade Jerome Walcott, for presenting those 2 awards in this afternoon segment. At this time, we will invite our Comrade Kevon Henry as he will present this evening's David Simmons Award. Put your hands together for Comrade Kevon Henry.
The David Simmons Award. Stacey Medford, League of Young Socialists. Stacey's professional background lies in finance and marketing, but her heart lies in being of service to others. Her quiet demeanor and warm smile are projected on the outside, but inside lies a strong will and no-nonsense attitude. She has been a member of the Barbados Labour Party for over 10 years and served in various capacities throughout that time, but most recently as treasurer of the League of Young Socialists. Please put your hands together for Stacey Medford.
Thank you very much, Comrade Kevon Henry. At this time, we would like to introduce our Comrade Kay McConney, Chair of the Barbados Labour Party. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our Chairman, Comrade Kay McConney, as she comes to present the next 2 awardees in our special awards segment for this evening.
Chairman's Award, Shanika Roberts-Odell. This professional, intelligent, diligent, and outspoken comrade made an indelible mark on the political landscape when she played a key role in the resounding success of Comrade Dwight Sutherland in St. George South in the general election of 2013. Comrade Shanika Roberts-Odell twice served with distinction as president and secretary of the St. George South branch and is former vice president of the League of Young Socialists. The holder of a BSc in political science and public management and an MSc in international trade policy from the University of the West Indies, she is currently second vice chair of the Barbados Labour Party. Please put your hands together for Shanika Roberts-Odell. The Ermy-born award winner, Dr. Ida Mae Denny. Dr. Denny has had a distinguished career in education, spanning a period of some 46 years, during which she has served as teacher, senior education officer with the Ministry of Education, and as a development banker in education with the Caribbean Development Bank. Dr. Denny is the holder of a teacher's certificate with distinction from Eardiston Teachers Training College and a Bachelor of Arts honors degree in literature and linguistics from the Cave-Field campus of the University of the West Indies. She also holds the certificate in educational management and administration with a distinction from the UWI. Dr. Denny, who also received the Master of Education degree in the teaching of reading from Howard University and the degree of Doctor of Educational Leadership, both at Cambridge College in Boston, Massachusetts, has been of service to education at the policy level, locally, regionally, and internationally. She is currently chairman of the Education Reform Committee of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training. Please put your hands together for Dr. Ida Mae Denny.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Continue to put your hands together for Comrade Kay McConney, who would have just presented those awardees. At this time, we would like to invite our Comrade Cynthia Ford to come to the platform to make the next presentation of the Milroy Reese Award. Put your hands together for Comrade Cynthia Ford. Just give us one moment. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, while we just let me take this opportunity to remind you of what we have coming up during the course of our annual conference for 2020. Tomorrow, as you know, we have our business that will take place from 10 a.m. in the morning. That is a party business, where various reports will take place from our General Secretary, the Treasurer, and other members of the party executive. But we are asking you to join us for a very special rally that will commence from around 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. From around 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, we're going to have a rally that's going to be taking place, and we invite you to come and hear speakers such as our Comrade William Dugate, Comrade Ian Goodin Etchill, Comrade Jeffrey Bostic, Comrade Dwight, Comrade Kerry, Tony, and of course our political leader as they celebrate and close out our conference for the year 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, moving back to our program, we want to invite our Comrade Cynthia Ford to present the next awardee, our Milroy Reese Award for 2020.
The Milroy Reese Award, Faye Burke. Comrade Faye joined the Barbados Labour Party at age 18, becoming an active member of the League of Young Socialists from 2008. She has held various positions on the executive of St. George North, having served as president for 5 consecutive years. Currently vice president of the branch, she has served as NEC representative and was adjudged winner of the Constituency Award in 2014. Please put your hands together for Faye Burke.
Thank you very much, Comrade Cynthia Ford. Ladies and gentlemen, at this Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it gives me great pleasure to bring before you the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, Prime Minister and political leader of the Barbados Labour Party, and she will present our final special award for this evening, the Grantley Adams Award. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do better than that. Put your hands together for our political leader, Mia Amor Motley.
The Grantley Adams Award, Glyne Clark. Comrade Glyne Clark has served the constituency of St. George North for some 26 unbroken years. He was first elected to Parliament in 1994. Comrade Clark's name will forever be associated with perhaps the most revolutionary piece of social legislation in Barbados' history, for it was in 2003 that he piloted amendments to the Tenantry Freehold Purchase Act, which allows thousands of residents in urban and private tenantries across Barbados to own the land that they and their forefathers would have lived on for decades at minimum cost. Comrade Clark was recently appointed Barbados' High Commissioner to Canada, succeeding Comrade Reginald Farley, who has taken over presidency of the Senate from Sir Richard Cheltenham following his retirement. Please put your hands together for Glyne Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Comrade Moore to come on stage and to help me present this award to Glyne Clark so that history will record the Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think, first of all, I'd like to thank you for coming on this Friday evening. I will have my opportunity to speak tomorrow, and there is no need for me to speak tonight at length. I spoke, however, at Market Hill last Sunday night and would have indicated why, in my judgment, this gentleman deserves the Grantley Adams Award. Regrettably, Glyne, we would have wished that it was not in COVID, because I know that if this was not COVID, in here would be rammed tonight because of your influence across St. George and Barbados. Glyne Clark has served the Labour Party with distinction, and he has served every leader of the Barbados Labour Party since Tom Adams, coming through to Henry Ford, coming through to Owen Arthur, and now myself. And many of you may not be aware, but the first time Glyne and I ran together, he didn't have any hint of gray, nor did I. He had more hair because he wanted to show more hair in those days. But there was a camaraderie for those of us who came to the class of 91. And that camaraderie, Toppin is here, has remained with many of us who ran for the first time in 1991, Liz Thompson. I can go on. And one of the things that impressed me is that Glyne has, I have never seen Glyne Clark angry. I have never seen Glyne Clark angry. I may have seen him walk away from situations, but I've never seen Glyne Clark angry. And it is a lesson, because one of the things that we learned very early on in those days is that the first rule of representation is to be pleasant and to be able to listen to everyone who wants to speak with you. Glyne Clark is the exemplar of a person who listens to people. I feel privileged to watch what he has been doing in St. George North for the last few weeks. I have known what it is to manage campaigns over the course of the last 30 years, but I've never seen a candidate, new candidate like you, Tony, have the benefit of the previous MP, walk as much and be at the side of the new candidate as much as I have seen Glenn Clark do in the last 3 weeks. Glenn, I want to salute you on behalf of a grateful party, on behalf of the people, I am sure, who are here and those who are listening through the social media, to say to you that we know that wherever you go, you will continue to represent the people of Barbados and the people of the Barbados Labour Party with distinction. And may God bless you, and may you walk with God when you leave us to go to go to farther shores when you go to Canada. The microphone is yours, my brother.
Thank you, Prime Minister, Party Chairman, comrades, St. George North people, thank you. I received the Grantley Adams Award on behalf of the people of St. George North. This award is truly represent because the people of St. George have given me the honor to represent them in Parliament. And I want to say to the people of St. George, I will always treasure you, I will always love you, I will always represent you wherever I am. And I want to say to the people of St. George North, I want you to endorse Tony as you have endorsed me. I want to leave you with the assurance that this award will remain right here in St. George North, right at Newbury, where we will have it restored, treasured for you, the people of St. George. We will build a home right at Salisbury for the Grantley Adams Award. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Give a rousing round of applause to our political leader, Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, our candidate for St. George North, Tony Moore, and our MP for St. George North, who has served for 26 years, Glenn Clark. You can do better than that. Put your hands together, people.
As we come to the end of this evening's proceedings, we invite Comrade Sheridan Archer to deliver the... Put your hands together for Comrade Sheridan Archer.
Prime Minister and Party Leader, the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, Chairman of the party, Senator Kay McConney, executive members, awardees, ladies and gentlemen, good night. I wish to extend this vote of thanks to those who contributed to the success of the event, the arrangement committee, our speaker, Comrade Tony Moore, our two hosts, Comrades Davidson and Jamelia, our performers, and our General Labour Party family. A special, very special thank you to you all. No, I did not forget our awardees. Thank you immensely for your continuous service and contribution to this remarkable institution. Tonight is a very special night for me. I have had the privilege of witnessing my brother Shane receive the Youth Award and my father receiving the party's highest award, the Grantley Adams Award. His dedication and service to the Barbados Labour Party, his former constituency, St. George North, and the people of Barbados has been sterling. So, Dad, I forgive you for all the late pickups to and from school and your contribution to my late submission of assignments. I now understand. Congratulations, Dad. I love you. Good night, everyone.
To look forward to our day tomorrow. We want you to stay safe in this environment. Have a great night. Thank you so very much for coming out.
Opportunities coming, more than for food.